Hello, Louise Kelly. How you going? Welcome to the Blab. This is the first Blab that you're doing.
That's right. Thank you, Zeeshan.
That's a pleasure. Now, obviously, the Blab's about solutions that are within you, and this is what you help people with, right?
Oh, I've just seen in the corner of my eye, changing focus. That's not me. It's my camera doing that. Oh my God. It's a bit large.
The
Yeah,
camera is definitely good.
I do lots of things to help people. I'm a bit put off because I can see myself.
The camera is gone. Okay, it's coming back.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's really weird.
So why is it
Can you hang up? Can you hang up? And I'm going to change the camera setting. It's doing panning or something. Or
okay, you can exit
sorry,
and you can come back. Hello and welcome, Louise Kelly. Nice to have you on the first Blab.
Thank you very much, Zeeshan.
Cool. So I just wanted to sort of have a chat with you about what you do and what you help people with finding solutions that are actually within them. And not many people realize that the solutions are actually within them. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. And you can't often find them on your own. You often need somebody to help push you and prod you a bit to get them to come out. And that's what coaches do. So coaches act pretty much like a mirror, and they show you what you're doing so that you understand what you're doing and that you actually have a choice.
So you're big on choices.
Yeah, I am. My theme song for the whole year has been Katy Perry's Roar. I just love that line where she says, I forgot I had a choice. And most people have choices, but they forget that they have, and they limit their thinking into a particular way that doesn't allow them to live their life to the fullest. So what I do is I will help people realize that there are often many solutions or many options that they have available, and they just need to open up their eyes to what's around them and not be stuck into a rut or a hole that keeps them held back. There's lots of opportunities out there, but you need to be open to looking for them.
That makes a lot of sense. So how do you even get them to start realize that? I mean, of course, you push and prod, but do you have like maybe 2 or 3 tips for people who are watching this Blab to go, well, you know what, that's a great tip, and I should do that, and sort of help themselves push and prod to come up with solutions that are actually within them?
Yeah, I think that most people want lots of things in their life, and they quite often push them to the back of their head because they think they're impossible. But there are so many things that are possible, and if you're not going to go for them, then you've missed out and you don't know, and it would be horrible to live your life regretting all the things that you missed out on. So what I will do with people is they only come to me when they've got something that they want to change. They don't come to me if there's nothing that they want to change, and everyone's got something they want to change. So I'll ask them about what their life's currently like and what it is that they don't want any longer or they want to change. So it might be a relationship with a person, somebody at work. It might be their career. It might be the things around them. It's usually relationships, whether it's work, people, or family. And then I get them to think about what it is that they'd like differently and what it would be like. So the more real and the more vivid they can make that goal, the more they have something to aim towards. And then we'll spend some time generating lots of different options that they can do to get to what it is that they want. So at that stage, it seems quite heartless, but you know, my role is to push them and to keep asking questions so that they come up with some solutions. And I'm talking solutions plural because there's just so many different things that you can come up with that will move you from where you're stuck towards where you want to be. And sometimes it's even the realization that what they thought they wanted isn't actually what they wanted. They actually do want something completely different. So I will get them to come to different realizations. But I do think you need to work with someone, because what often holds us back is ourselves, and we often avoid the things that we find uncomfortable or difficult. So, we could probably all sort ourselves out, but it's much easier to go to somebody else and ask them for help.
That is so true. That is so true. So, give me an example of, I know it's probably client confidentiality there, but without mentioning names, as an example, something that you helped someone quite recently, which was huge.
Okay, I do a lot of work with women in leadership, and women by their nature are nurturers, and women often sacrifice a lot of things for others. But as soon as they start not looking after themselves, they become actually quite useless to anybody anyway, and they forget that, because women are very driven to allow others to shine or to come forth or to nurture and look after. So a simple thing might be the realization to a woman that she hasn't been feeding herself good nutrition, or she's not been prioritizing sleep, or she's not been drinking enough water so that she can think clearly. Really ridiculously simple things like that absolutely transforms people's lives. But the thing is with a coach is that you're accountable to somebody and you're reporting back over a period of time. And that's what creates new habits. It's no good just going to a one-day workshop and going, yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah. What you need is somebody who's there and consistently helps you tap into what you're doing and makes you accountable. So that's why coaching works so well, because it's over a long period of time.
That is so true, though. When you talk about solutions, we're talking about solutions of any sort, right? It's not just business. We're talking about whether it's relationships, and it's talking about moving cities and moving all those kind of solutions and choices we're talking about.
Yeah, and opening up your eyes to a much wider world than what you've just been thinking. And that's the thing is with a coach, is they can be quite controversial, and they'll ask you, well, what else could you do? What have you tried so far? What haven't you tried? What might somebody else try? What options could there possibly be that you haven't even considered yet? And the other thing with a coach is they're patient. They wait and they wait, because the answer has got to come from the person, otherwise they won't do it.
That is true. That is true. From a perspective, I had a question in mind, but I think your point just sort of blew that question out of my mind. But sorry, Lou. But I was going to actually ask you something along the lines of self-help. Now, other than people asking you a question or coming to you with questions and saying, "Okay, can you help me?"
Yeah.
Is there something that they can do, by themselves to start with, just to address that there is a concern, there is they want to change something? Not many people realize that they need to change. I mean, people realize that they got to change, but they don't know what they've got to change. So, are there questions that they can ask themselves to start with that's going to make them realize that, okay, these are the points, these are the things that are concerning.
Okay.
I've got to ask these.
All right. So one of the things that you could do that's really instant is you could throw a question at somebody and you could say, all right, if you only had 6 months left to live, how would you spend those 6 months? What are the things that you have not done that you want to do, that you're still capable of doing, with some assistance? But let's say that you knew in 6 months' time your life would be over. What are the things that you would want to put in place or have done in those 6 months? So it might be mending relationships, it might be a career move, it might be travel, it might be doing a hobby or doing something really daring and risking yourself in some way. But what are those amazing things that you've been saving and not doing because you think you'll get round to them one day? So that's a quick one. A more detailed one would be to complete a wheel of life, and a bit like a wheel with spokes, a wheel of life covers at least 9 major areas of your life, and you just rate yourself at that moment in time how you are. So it would be things like your fitness levels, your mental state, your significant other, your family, your general health, your education, maybe your community contribution, maybe your spiritual state, and there's probably a few others, but those sort of main areas. And then you give yourself a rating, and then you choose which of those areas do you want to work on first, or which will give you the biggest bang for your buck. And then you work out what are your blocks, what are your obstacles, what are your